Hello all, Nick Calabro here with Collaboration, and I want to quickly talk about irreversibility, okay, and why you're probably not using it or even realize that it's an option so early on. So let's quickly get into this here. So I find a lot of startup entrepreneurs and whatnot, okay, who get really caught up in a lot of these initial decisions that they have to make. What should I call my company? Which domain name should I buy? Where should I host my website? This is my first hire. Who should I hire? What should I look out for? All these different things. And the fact is that by you spending really any more than 5 minutes on these very initial decisions is ineffective, right? You're actually losing more money by worrying about these things so heavily than gaining what you should be by just doing anything, right? Buying a single domain, okay, is going to be better to get a site up and running that day than spending a week, okay, thinking about all the different names that you could buy, all the different subdomains and extensions that you can play around with, right? The big thing to keep in mind is that these things are irreversible, right? You can go back and change the domain. You can fire a person that you hire. You can change the name of your company, right? Nothing is so set in stone that you cannot change these things later, right? Stop wasting time thinking about getting everything perfect right away and instead just get something up and then change it later. You're going to have more insight about which domain name you want 6 months down the line than you will tomorrow after one night's sleep, right? So just get something up for the sake of getting it up, right? Keep things moving forward and then go back and change it later. No one's stopping you from getting multiple domain names, right? You can get freaking hundreds, thousands, millions. It's just so frustrating to see people that are so caught up in this area and just not moving because of it. And honestly, some of what it comes down to is that these people are not going to be the ones that succeed because they get too caught up, right? These are going to be good, maybe developers on the team, maybe finance people on the team because they're really involved in these little details. But if you get stuck so easily and you can't move forward just because of these little tiny roadblocks that shouldn't even be roadblocks, but you're kind of imagining them in this idea, right? Then that's going to be a problem because how are you going to run a company when you can't even buy a domain? You can't even get a website up and running because you're too worried about which domain name to buy. Now, some other examples are hiring is a pretty good example of this because hiring, takes up time and money and there's a big investment up front that it'll take to actually get that on. But wouldn't you rather hire, say, 5 people all at once, knowing that you're going to fire 3 of them, than hire one person, have them on the team for a few months, realize that doesn't work out, and then hire another person, have them on the team for a few months, realize it didn't work out, and then go through that process? You end up wasting a year out of all that, right? Whereas instead of just doing everything at once, okay, and then determining that you're going to be making the decision that you're going to fire ahead of time, right? That's being just proactive instead of reactive, right? So just be proactive enough that you make things move, okay? Be proactive enough that you get things in the right direction, and then be proactive enough to cut the fat where things didn't work out, right? Whether that is a domain name or an employee. Okay, so ultimately here, you're going to end up saving time in the long run, even if it seems like you're setting yourself up for failure, because you're probably not, and you're just doing your job, which is to run this company and keep it running, right? Your goal for the company, whether it's to hit a certain amount of revenue, whether it's to be acquired, whatever it is, you are not getting closer to that anywhere, okay, by taking another night's sleep to figure out which domain name to buy. Just buy anything at all and then change it later, okay? Hire anyone at all and then change it later. I'm Nick Calabro. Thank you so much for watching. Now get to work.